So millions of people suffer from undiagnosed thyroid disorders.
And Dr. Sebastian Castelli owns Functional Health Solutions and specializes in helping patients like Julie Porter with these confusing and painful conditions, which we're going to get into. And we're going to talk about your story, Julie, in just a second. But first, Dr. Castelli, let's get into your background a little bit. You are a chiropractor, but not your typical chiropractor. So kind of give us a background on what you do and how you set yourself apart.
So yeah, I practiced for about 5 years doing traditional chiropractic, which is neck pain, back pain, headaches, pediatrics, even pregnant moms. But I was always interested in neurology, so I pursued board certification in neurology, and that was like another 3-year program. And it's a non-pharmaceutical, non-surgical approach. So with a real thorough exam, I'm able to kind of differentiate the area of the brain or the nervous system that's not working so great. And then we'll do different types of interventions and treatments and therapies to wake up and activate those parts of the brain. So it could be using your senses, like your eyes, your ears, different stretches, vibration, sensory type of stimulation, and that will activate the whole nervous system. Now, when I was doing that whole neurology program, I also got into functional medicine because the brain needs fuel, right? It needs glucose, it needs oxygen, and so functional medicine will help us look at nutrition and diet and lifestyle. So we do all types of diagnostic testing. We look at blood work and hormones. We look at food sensitivities, all these type of things, and we put it together to try to treat the patient as a whole.
And thyroid disorder is one of the many things that you're dealing with. And Julie, you've had to deal with.
Yeah.
What are the signs and the symptoms of that in particular?
Sure. So real commonly, they're going to have extreme fatigue, unexplained weight gain or difficulty losing weight, depression, anxiety, and gastrointestinal problems are really common too. Unfortunately, constipation is a big one. So what I tell everyone is every cell in your body has a receptor for thyroid hormone. So it's so important for this to be working properly. I mean, it could be your cuticle, your toenail, your hair, your red blood cells, your liver, your brain. All of this has a receptor for thyroid hormone. So we want to make sure that thyroid system is working as well as possible.
And some of the symptoms you just articulated are very generic. You know, they're just, people could have some of those symptoms, you know, here and there and not even think anything of it. So Julie, let's bring you into the conversation and talk about your story and then your relationship here with Dr. Castelli.
Sure. Well, I came to Dr. Castelli because at first, initially I was looking for somebody, you know, for a chiropractor. And, but I knew that things just weren't working right. I was used to being really active, and over the last couple of years I had a really high stress job. You know, I had some, you know, other physical problems, and I did everything that the doctor said I should do, and I still felt horrible. I could tell something was really off, and I just couldn't put it together. And I was losing feeling in my feet and everything. It was starting to get to a point where
something's not right.
Yeah, something was really wrong. So I went to Dr. Castelli, and I felt like he was the first person to kind of pull all of the information together for me. You know, not just treat one symptom here, one symptom there. You know, I really needed somebody to help me kind of pull all of this together. So we've worked on, you know, getting my feet feeling again, which is sounds awful, but it's a terrible thing. You know, it really puts you off balance, and you know, my energy was terrible. I was sleeping all the time, and
so it's kind of like getting your body in communication with itself.
Absolutely.
You're finding things in areas that aren't working, and you start with those, and probably once you start uncovering those, more things open up, and you can discover even more.
Energy levels too.
Yeah. Talk about what you did to help then specifically.
Sure. So first off, I always like to say I'm not a medical doctor. So like, I don't treat or cure thyroid disease as much as I just try to find out what's going wrong with the body.
Sure.
So with the thorough exam and the blood work and the testing, that's where we're able to, okay, this is what we need to address, and we can do it through the therapies and things that I talked about. So we put that all together, and that's what gets the body talking to itself again and working together. Like, one thing I always say at my lectures is, I ask everybody, think of 2 things you can start doing to improve your health, right? And I give them a second, and then I say, okay, now we're either of those taking more medications? Typically not. And don't get me wrong, there's a time and a place for the medications, and I don't take patients off of medications at all. That's for their prescribing doctor to address. But if we improve their health and their function, typically that can be adjusted or eventually weaned off. So it's just a way of looking at the body neurologically and metabolically and putting it together.
All in communication.
All in communication.
Very
That's what we
cool.
do.
Now, real quick, because we ran out of time, but tell us, you got a special for First Coast Living viewers?
Absolutely. So for the first 25 callers that qualify, we're going to do a free consult. So Jessica will be on the phone. Just have patience with her. She's trying to get to, and we'll get you in.
Okay.
Very cool.
All right. Well, thank you so
guys.
much. We
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks for
it.
sharing
Again,
your
the numbers
story.
there on the bottom of your screen if you need to write that, and also the website as well, which we just took down, so that way we'll be able to make sure that we can see you. Thanks
Okay.
so much,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Castelli. And thanks so much to Functional Health Solutions for sponsoring this segment.
For more information and to schedule an appointment, visit AskDrCastelli.com or call 904-503-2119.